Bom dia. We are here starting a new podcast. My name is Jackson, me and Rafael.
Bom dia.
We are here to talk about some cases that happen in the Jiu-Jitsu worldwide community. And also we'd like to share that we're going to have a new section in the podcast that's called O que voce acha. That's in Portuguese. In English it means what do you think? It's about videos, right? Like when you share a video, we do that a lot today, like sending videos to each other and funny things, curiosity, and all kinds of stuff. We have this video communication between friends and family that we do all the time. So we're gonna start a new section that's approach that thing, right?
Yeah, see how it goes and react to videos that maybe you want to share out there, or we share already naturally, so we want to do it because it's pretty fun. Sometimes we get crazy videos like this one actually, so we're gonna see how it goes, and then after that we go for the topic of the day so we can break it down and have a little fun at the beginning.
Okay guys, we want to talk about something that's really crazy that just happened in Brazil. A guy is a gym owner, pretty well known guy in Brazil. His student left his gym to train in another place. Okay, his student probably approximately like a purple belt level, left his gym to train somewhere else. And for the fact that the student lives right next door to the gym, he was walking in front of this place where he used to train every day to go home and do his errands and run his life. He had to pass right in front of the gym. The professor was very upset because he was wearing a shirt from the new place where he's training. And then he planned this assault. Okay, when the guy walked in front of the gym with his girlfriend, he just assaulted him right in front of the gym. Somebody was filming it. And was actually like a pretty big fight, right? He really like took advantage on his skills and damaged his student pretty considerable.
We're gonna put a link so that you can see it. You just explain a little bit because you're gonna see the shirt of the guy.
You're gonna be able to watch it, and then the professor puts footage of him explaining why he assaulted the student. And pretty much he said that he was like a father for this guy. The guy lived next to the gym. He introduced him to Jiu-Jitsu, gave him a lot of guidance and a lot of advice in life, and teaching him a lot of Jiu-Jitsu. Of course, he was part of the academy. And the professor was just saying like that he cannot accept that the guy left him to train somewhere else, and was actually like being like rude, walking in front of the gym wearing the shirt from the new place.
And I think that the guy was like talking bad about his old school and the professor as well at his new gym.
Yes,
that was another part of the
student
deal.
Apparently was
allegedly
was like bringing some bad talk about the gym where he used to train, and he was talking bad about his previous professor. And the video tells a lot, probably why he's not happy there. You know, the professor seems to be very aggressive and very possessive of his students. He really like have this possession. Especially, I can see the case. I started to train Jiu-Jitsu in that same environment. You know, where it was not right to leave your gym and go train somewhere else. You know that there is even a word called creonte. That's this word in Portuguese that was created by Master Carson Gracie. That's identify a guy who leave the gym and go train somewhere else. You know, and there's a lot of loyalty inside Jiu-Jitsu, especially in Brazil. It's like very strong loyalty. If you start to train somewhere and you leave to go train somewhere else, there is a lot of rant about that. There is a lot of issues that can come around, a lot of politics. And of course, this case of the professor assaulting the student in front of the gym is go beyond everything. You know, he actually really attacked the kid and hurt the kid in the middle of the street. So I want to share what I think about this, what's me and Rafael, our point of view about this. I have changed a lot on my jiu-jitsu path. You know, I started training in this kind of environment, like very old school kind of vibes in Brazil, and I moved away from Brazil and I met many different people, many different ways to teach jiu-jitsu. And what I think today, if a student of mine, he leaves me and he go train somewhere else, there's two kinds of student, right? There is a student that he come, he train and he go home, okay? And you see him during that hour in the class, hour and a half, sit and talk, and text message, email, and that's it. And then there is that other kind of student, that's a guy that he comes to the gym, he start to help with the kids class, he clean the gym after, he comes to your house and help you with some errands in your house that you have to do. You know, he become more than a student, you know, and that's probably the case what's happening in this video there. You know, this kid probably was more than a student. He lives like right next to the gym. You see it? Like right family, next to the gym. The gym is here, his house is right next to it. So imagine how convenient and how much this student was spending time with this guy. You know, helping him to clean, paint the gym and doing all kinds of errands. I probably see like he opened in the gym one day, professor was late for the class, he opened the gym, started the warm up, professor arrives. It's like there's a lot of trust in between these two guys now. You know, like it's like a son. It's like he become like a father that the kid didn't have.
He said it. I became like a father figure for him.
So it's more than a regular student. Okay, so understand like the difference between a regular guy and this guy that's become more than a student, you know. So it's hard to lose a student like this. You know, I can see like the guy, I can put myself in the guy's position and see like why he was so angry about losing this guy, because he considered the guy like his son. You know, he teach a lot of jiu-jitsu for this guy, and the guy left him, was talking bad about him, and was walking in front of his gym with a shirt from somebody else that this professor probably don't like that other team. Because a competitor is a business competitor, is a tournament competitor, probably they compete against each other.
It's many things.
You know, so it's my point of view is today I would not care if the student leave me. Even if it was a very close student, like for example, Rafael. Rafael is by far the closest guy I have in the gym. He is that guy. He's that guy that I consider him more than a student. He comes to my house, he's in my house, we have food together, we talk about life. We share much more than that hour in the gym.
Yeah, work together in the gym.
Rafael come to me today and say like, Jack, I'm gonna work in the gym across the street, and for this is the reasons that I'm leaving you. I'm gonna be sad because I'm gonna lose my right hand, but I'm gonna be very happy because Rafael is taking a decision to progress in life. So, for the respect and the love I have for him, and if I see that's a good opportunity for him, I'm gonna say, Rafael, go there. Those guys, they're gonna be good for you. You're gonna learn what you wanna learn, and just go. If I think that place is not good for him, I'll tell him, but still let him free to go. If he wanna go, maybe that's the lesson that he needs to learn.
Yeah, make their own decision.
Maybe he needs to go there to see how good it is here. And if one day he wanna come back, the door's gonna be open. If you leave in good terms, you come back in good terms. There is no problem about that. But I usually think differently than that, much different. You know, like if this happened one day, I would not beat him up the way that professor did.
I hope not.
But I would probably be upset, like, I have done so much for you, and now you just leave me like that. And now everything what I teach you, everything what I shared with you, you're gonna share with those guys there.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's I think it's a personal growth that put me in the position that I am today, that I think it's okay to Rafael to leave and go work with the competitor, train with the competitor. I'm totally okay with that today. But I think that was a personal growth. I grow as a person to think like that today. If I really like this guy, if I really like Rafael, I want the best for him. Is that correct? That's like when you really like and have respect for somebody, you want the best for that.
Yeah, it's the right thing
that
to
guy.
do.
And maybe the best for Rafael is not to be around me anymore. Maybe I run out of jiu-jitsu to teach for him. Rafael is beating me up in the gym already. He wants more. He want to compete. He want to meet other people. And that's his goal in life. If that's his goal, go ahead and do that. Go and challenge yourself, meet different people, see another perspective of jiu-jitsu out there, and go. And that's what my professor did with me when I was leaving London to come to the US. I come to my professor and say like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm thinking about to leave. I'm thinking about to go and live in the US and work there in a different organization. And what do you think? And he's like, you are my right arm. You do everything for me here. We run this business together. We are partners. And we used to be partners financially and investors. I used to be one of the investors. I have a share part of the business. Pretty consistent, considerable. Actually was 33%. I had 33% of the business. Was split in 3 equal parts between three guys. And when I come and I say like, hey, I'm thinking about to leave, he say, tell me more about it. Let me listen what you think. And I told him everything, what my goal was and what I want to go. And he say, hey, go. He gave me a list. He gave me a checklist, like just make sure you have these things here. You know, like talk with your new employee there and see what's if these things here check. If you check this box here, you're good to go, man. Go ahead. And I went there and everything was pretty much in place. And I say, hey, I'm gonna try. And he say, go, man. I'm happy for you. I'm gonna start to look for somebody to replace your duties here in the gym. And I give you 1 year for you to come back to the same 33% deal that we have. You have 1 year. Go. In 1 year time, you call me back and say, Felipe, I want to come back. You back in. I'm going to hold things for you for 1 year. How cool is that? You know, like not just he motivates me to go, but he also gives me the security for me to come back
like
if
a
I
safety net just in case. Mm-hmm.
And I would go back. If things didn't work here in America, I would go back. And I put myself in a position that I have a great option and I have an incredible great option in my life. So like either way I go would be fine. And how much respect I have for this guy today, because he guided me towards that direction there. You know, he was not afraid to lose me, since that I'm gonna grow personally on my jiu-jitsu career and everything. You know, he had a vision, the same vision that I have. We had together. You know, and I see this case that happened in Brazil, that this professor still have that old mindset of, if you train here, you better stay here, because if you go somewhere else, you're gonna be my enemy. You know, like in a way that he ended up assaulting the guy and making a video with the shirt covered in blood and proving a point. Like that's how I do it. If you leave me, I'm gonna use you as example so nobody else leave me. Yeah. You know, I can understand why this guy ended up leaving him. You know, like was just a guy that don't fit inside that environment. You know, like was maybe the training was too hard. Maybe the professor was too possessive of him.
They didn't say the reason why he left, right? He didn't say, because there was an interview after.
He said in that video there, he said like very briefly, like in Portuguese I can understand what he mean there, like pretty much he's saying like, well, the video shows what I live.
Oh, there? Okay.
You know, like he let you understand that in Portuguese, that's
just the manner of
now you see what I left, you know, now you see what I'm going somewhere else. And how sad that this kid was saying like he don't even feel like to leave his house anymore. He's so scared to leave the house that he's not even go training his new gym anymore, and he kind of took a break of everything and feel very threatened to go to work, just to leave the house to go to work.
He has to pass by.
They have to pass by the gym. And the professor is there every day, and probably this professor keeps saying like, hey, if I see you, it's kind of a babão. You remember the babão situation? Like that's pretty much what is it.
That's a bully story.
You know, like the babão situation that we talked about before, about this guy that was bullying me everywhere I go in Brazil. This guy from jiu-jitsu from the other gym was there, and he wanna take me and he wanna give me a hard time.
Imagine a black belt bullying you. That's
imagine like your professor like bullying you, you know, and
Jesus.
I can see exactly what's happened there, and this pretty much like the old school mentality from the creators of Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I know that it was very strong inside the Grace family and all other organizations in Brazil. You know, like if you train with me, I'm gonna do my best for you to stay here, and if you leave and go train somewhere else, it's gonna have these bad feelings in between us. You know, like some of them gonna be cured, some are gonna be not. Of course, I left Brazil a long time ago. I trained in many different gyms, and I faced that pretty strong in many different situations. You know, when I have to leave where I was training to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that mentality.
And I faced that mentality of like, oh, if you leave, I'm gonna give you a hard time, and you know, and I learned with all of that happened to me, that's just to be different, you know, and leave my students go wherever they want to go. If they want to go to a seminar in a different gym, if they want to go somewhere train and just to have experience, open mat, whatever, just go and look. And if you like there and you want to go and end up training there, you're welcome to go. If that's gonna make my student happy, go. That's my main concern, is like I want my student to achieve his goals and be happy whatever he is. You know, like there's people that I know they're gonna stay around me because they like the way I am, the way I teach, and if there is anybody that's not happy with that format that I deliver in the gym, they're welcome to go and try it somewhere else. And if they find themselves there, I'm happy with them. And recently that's happened actually. One of my students, like guys that's been training to me like for 6 years, 5 years, purple belt already, and he just left without saying anything. He left, and I found out that he was training somewhere else, but he was not talking with me anymore, and I figured out that he was thinking that I was mad at him. And he was thinking like he did something wrong to go train somewhere else without telling me anything. Actually, that happened like twice already. You know, and it's fun enough because these two guys who left the gym, they actually train in the same gym together now. You know, they train in a gym where they do a lot of tournaments and they are competing now. And I messaged him recently. I say, hey, you wanna come to my birthday party? And he's like, oh, really? I say, yeah, come along, man, come around. I haven't seen you for a long time, and I know that you're training there. And he said, oh yeah, I ended up leaving and training there. So he finally found the window to tell me that he left to go train somewhere else. You know, like, oh yeah, I went to train there. And I said, yeah, I know, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy that you're training. If you are training Jiu-Jitsu, I'm happy with that. That's what I told him. Yeah. Are you training? Are you still training Jiu-Jitsu? He said, yeah. I said, man, that's all what I need to know. Good for you. Come to my birthday party. And he's like, whoa, okay, I'm gonna come. He ended up not coming. You know, maybe gonna take a little bit more time for him to get things settled again and see that I have no problem with that at all.
There's no beating up here.
And I hope that we become like just friends again, you know, like I have no problem with that at all. Yeah. And I don't know, what do you think about that?
No, it's crazy stuff. I think you said most of the ideas that we have. We have the same opinion on that part, and like Jackson said, we understand. I understand the person too. I didn't train in those situations before, or with a master like that, with a professor like that, but I can still empathize a little bit, but I don't justify what he did still. Like, he's just something that you shouldn't do, understanding that he's scared of losing students or maybe money, that's his food going out, because it's money going somewhere else. So I understand that part, but still unjustifiable. Like, it doesn't have to happen that manner. And one of the examples that Jackson did give is from Felipe being a great boss, being a great partner, being a great professor. He's just giving the opportunity to happiness first. And now, for example, if Felipe did that with Jackson before and beat him up or whatever, bully him, did mention him like in a good manner like that, or being friends anymore. So he lost not only a student from that professor in Brazil, but he lost a friend. He lost a son figure and everything, or a brother figure. He lost a chance of having that relationship back again. So he didn't only lose money, but he lost a friend. So that's unnecessary.
You end up losing everything. Leave, and he's gonna talk bad about you, and you're probably gonna lose even more potential students. You know, and I see like these students that's left me, and I was just cool about it. You know, like when they have the opportunity, they end up coming back. They end up coming back to the gym again. Maybe they went to try somewhere else that was not what they expect, and they know what to expect around me, so they just come back and they join the team again. And there is no politics about that, no drama. I don't make any big deal out of it. It's hard to lose a student because it's Jiu-Jitsu have this social thing that's very, very strong. You become like very good friends with our training partners. You know, it's something like it's hard to explain, but I think it's because Jiu-Jitsu is such a contactful sport that's create this different level of friendship. You know, I was telling Rafael here like how happy I was this weekend. I did my birthday party here in the house, and I invited as much friends as I could. I can't invite everybody in the gym. You know, I can't invite all the students because I don't have a physical space in my house to do that. So I keep like alternating. I keep alternating the invitation. Like one day I do a UFC night in the house. I invite some of the students. Other day I do my birthday party. Other day it's just like a regular hangout. And I end up going through as much students as I can to connect as much as I can with everybody, because I think I can learn a little bit from all my students. You know, when they come to the house here, I always get to know more about them. They get to know more about me, and that's the way I use to grow as a person. You know, like finding what other people's experiences are. You know, like meet their family, meet their kids. See what they bring for food, you know, like what they bring to share, if they bring something to share, if they doesn't, you know, and it's just like to get to know more each other. I love this, like to meet people to the fullest, you know, like the more I get to know my students, I grow and I learn more with that. And, this weekend was not different, you know, like everybody came around with a lot of gifts and a lot of stuff, and we had a good time together. And I was even thinking, like, I was even telling a friend here, one of my friends were here, and I was telling him like, hey, I think if I never had Jiu-Jitsu in my life, I would probably have some social issues. You know, like I never liked too much like to socialize. It was never too easy for me. You know, but like with Jiu-Jitsu, it's just like make you surrounded with friends and like cool people, you know, like people like the new students that came to the party, like people that are new in the circle. They're like, man, what a bunch of cool people here. You know, we made a fire outside and people are playing guitar there, and one of my students are playing, the other one was making magic.
Super
and
nice.
We had like this good time together until late in the night. The kids sitting here sleeping in the chairs outside in the fire. And I could not find firewood, and I called one of my students and say, hey, do you have some firewood in your ranch? And he said, yeah, of course I have, I bring it. And then we like commute all these things together, and we had a great time. You know? And I see like the bonds that you create with the students, you know, like it's something strong. It's something that you really have a respect for each other, and training daily and sharing experience and laughing together, it's really create this strong circle of friends.
Yeah, genuine care and being nice with each other and everything.
You awesome. Care about your friends, and it's just a great community, you know. And then you see cases like this that the professor was just upset to lose this guy and beat him up. I totally disagree with that. I think that's just ruining the image of Jiu-Jitsu. You know, that's not beneficial at all for the. It was all over the news in Brazil. I can imagine how much people that was thinking about joining a Jiu-Jitsu school that's gonna say, oh man, that's what Jiu-Jitsu. No, I'm out. That imagine was like all over the news in the country. You know, like how much that damaged the what I do, you know, like I don't think like that guy. I act totally different than what he thinks, and that's damaged the reputation of Jiu-Jitsu, you know, and end up like affecting people that think like me, you know, that would not have that kind of reaction.
They only cover those type of people, like those type of people that make that mistake, and
yeah,
then
but
they don't
people
cover
that don't know what jiu-jitsu is, you know,
Yeah.
they generalize and they see like,
That's what I
that's
mean.
what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That they show in the news only the
Yeah,
people that did
just
do
the-
that mistake, and then they don't show the people that
Yeah,
really.
no, they show the good part
Yeah.
too. There is a recently case of a shooting that happened in Brazil, and this girl that she's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and shows in the video like the shooter grabbed her by the arm but could not drag her because she had a good base. Did
Yeah,
you see
that's cool.
this?
No, this is, we can talk about maybe.
Yeah, the guy with a gun in the hand,
crazy.
shooting everybody and trying to drag this girl, and she stood
like
up
a
in
good
base,
base.
and he could not drag her, and she eventually like twisting the wrist and escaped out of the door and
the wrist
survived. So that was also over the news there. So they show the good side
cool,
too.
man.
They show the good side, but you know, people for some reason the bad news always spread more. You know,
impacts
become more
yeah.
viral with the internet today. Everybody want to see this
Well, we're wired
footage
that
of
way.
this professor attacking his student. You know, everybody's just curious to see what's happened there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my point of view about the loyalty in jiu-jitsu. And if the student is leaving you, or a friend don't want to hang out with you anymore, or maybe your girlfriend come and she breaks up with you unexpectedly, you know, I think that's a good time for you to review who you are. You know, look inside, not outside. You know, don't look to that student that's leaving you. Look at you and see what you can improve as a person to avoid those things to happen. You know, to be more acceptant of your student leaving you. You know, like look at that situation. Boy, this guy I used to love, he was like a son to me, and he's leaving now. But maybe the problem is not on him. What I fully think that was not the student problem, and the problem is more with the professor.
Yeah.
You know, that he should grow and maybe act in a different way in the gym where the students don't want to leave you as much. And if they do, be fine with that. You know, nobody owns nobody. You know, it's a free world. People can go and train anywhere. You know, and the more you try to keep your ships around you, more they're gonna try to escape to see what's being hidden from them. You know, gonna spark the curiosity, like why my professor don't want to go there? Why he never wants me to go to open mat? You know, why? Why keep this why growing inside the head and actually want them go even more? You know, it's like if I told these guys that recently come in the gym, like, professor, I wanna go and compete, and I would say like, no, don't go. No, competition is bad. Don't go. What? That's gonna spark him like, why everybody go to say that I cannot go?
Some curiosity, John.
You know what? Tell your student that want to compete. Go there. Check it out. Go there. That's as much I can help you. Go there and try and check it out to see the whole competition. You know, some of them like, some of them don't like it, but now they know what's good and what's no good.
Yeah.
You know, like let your students go and fly. Let them experience other places. You know, and if you're secure what you teach and what you do and the person that you are, you should not be scared of lose your students.
Yeah, and then it happens with it's same analogy with kids, for example. If you tell a kid no, or he's prohibited, or something they want it more, if you let the door open for them to explore it, sometimes they even ignore it because the opening is there, so they don't want to explore something that is open. It's all like, oh, I can see it, so it's no problem. But if they see something that is prohibited, or the door is closed and locked and has like 10 locks, I want to open everything so I can see what it is. This is the same thing. It's the same
Yes,
thing.
that's what it is.
And this transitions actually to the topic that we're gonna talk about today. About Jackson wanted to talk more about the friends that came into the birthday, and not only the friends, but the relationships that you make in jiu-jitsu and in life, just doing the right thing. And this is actually the example of doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is just getting to know and being empathetic and compassionate enough to understand that the other person just wants something different, or understanding that their happiness is for them important, so you have to put yourself in that position, and understanding that if you were in that position, you wouldn't act that way, or you wouldn't like the other person acting in that manner. And that leaves the results of being surrounded by great people and having not only a great reputation, but everything in life goes easier when people really, really enjoy not only your company but feel that they can trust you, and they feel like they're being a part of something and being needed and everything. So I think, I don't know, you want to talk about a little bit more on what happened this weekend with their friends, or what do you think?
Well, I think that's what Jiu-Jitsu do, you know, like it's really like bring this group of people, you know, around, and it's just a matter of fact of you being real, you know, like be real and put out who you are, and you're gonna see which circle you're gonna have around you, you know, like you see people getting like in the wrong path in life, and that's probably because they are hanging out with the wrong people, you know. So I totally agree with what you say, like if you do things right, you're gonna have this kind of people around you, you know, people that appreciate, that's parents that appreciate that you being a role model for the kids, you know. I hear that a lot, like, oh, you're such a role model for my kid, you know, my kid like really look of what you're doing and he want to do the same, you know, like how big of a responsibility is that, you know, like you becoming a role model for a child, for a kid maybe 5 years old, 6 years old, that don't have this dad figure in front of him, or maybe have it but not as present and as cool, you know, like sharing good moments, you know, like, because in the end of the day I tell that to the parents sometimes, like, hey, your kid think that I'm super cool because he come here and have like 1 hour of fun with me, you know, come for the game day and together, you know, I never have to tell him to go and take a shower and and do the hard part, you know. So probably that's why he look,
the association is fun.
He have this association of being around me, it's having fun and train jiu-jitsu and learn self-defense, and you know, so I think that's it's pretty straightforward of what the topic is today, you know, like be a nice person, be right, be fair, and be real, you know, and you're gonna have this circle of people that are gonna conspire and gonna be around you all the time. I don't remember like any academy that any jiu-jitsu academy that I gone before that I didn't left the doors open, you know, like to walk in with a good positive attitude and try to help the people that are in there and connect them in the right way and send a message after thanking them for the training or for the opportunity, or you know, be grateful. It's a big part of creating this circle around you, you know, when people see that you're grateful for the little things they do, the little things they share, you know, a little message, a little email, phone call, you know, it's very valuable, you know.
It matters.
People are we are losing this day by day, you know, this communication, and I think jiu-jitsu is an incredible tool for you to reconnect with people and spend this time sitting and talking instead of being on this virtual world that's out there today that we are all getting into more and more. You know, I think jiu-jitsu like ground you back again and create this great relation between people, and this socialization, I think, is one of the most valuable things you can learn in a jiu-jitsu academy.
Yeah, no, and there's something interesting that I have been not experimenting but noticing more. When you have the right intentions, people don't judge or not overthink but doubt what you're trying to do. That's something that you have good intentions of doing whatever you're trying to do and helping somebody. They won't try to doubt what you're trying to do, or they don't try to judge whatever you're trying to do. So for example, most of the times before we started this type of video, this type of content, the intention of us is just to share with people around the world, so that way they can see that there's either an academy nearby that it's nice enough to come in and train with us, or sharing experience that we have as human beings in our own journey, and getting to understand that there's people like them and like us in the same thing, and that we think almost the same, like they can relate. So when we try to do this, is just to share and document what we think in the moment right now, and trying to find those type of people, and they can find us online and then somehow connect with us if they want to, either way, if they live far away or not. So the intentions are nice. It's not like to be famous, because it's super hard, by the way, and or being an influencer or whatever. It's not that. The intention is, for me, and I believe for Jitsu too, is just to share what we do and share the mistakes that we did, share the right things that we're doing, so that way you save some time and go from there and explore your own life in an efficient way. And when people do, they have the intention of going in a way that's just a little bit sneaky. You feel it, like you feel it in your gut that they're trying to do something that is not right. So that's something that you feel whenever you talk to someone, whenever you share a little bit of time with that person, you feel those intentions. So in that manner, just having the intentions in the right place, everything will go nice and smooth. And sometimes you have to check yourself where you're at in those intentions, and try to catch yourself and try to, like, hey, I don't know why I have this type of intention or anything. Try to, like, okay, let's do it in a nice way, and check your values and see where you're at, because it's the right way. When you do the right thing for you and for others, there's nothing stopping you from being not only happy but at the same time successful in what you're trying to do. And it's just easier. Your path opens up a lot more. And this is one of the principles I was sharing with the guys in the morning, that in jiu-jitsu, and this is something that I heard mostly, I believe from here, I'm not sure, but that Helio Gracie shared that the jiu-jitsu is a defensive martial art, right? So if a jiu-jitsu is defensive, the more the aggressive is the other person, the easier is to control. Yes. So today I was doing a little drill for the guys to be a little bit more calm, being more like just flowy with emotion and not try to be too stiff. And that sometimes happens in life, where you're not the more stiff, the more rigid you are, the less you move, the less stuck. You're gonna be more stuck in the different positions. You're gonna get rolled over, you're gonna get swept. So the idea is to be nice and flowy, nice and I feel like when your partner is trying to get out like crazy, you want to be like mud sometimes. The more they move, the more they feel stuck, because you just flow around them and cover every space that they're trying to move. And that's exactly, sometimes the path just gets easier and smooth. The more you feel and connected to your partner, the more you're gonna listen and see what the holes are, what the loopholes are, so that way you can control them better. And that's actually what it is. If you're stiff and aggressive and have bad intention and do the wrong thing for other people are gonna come back, and that's karma right there. That come back and try to mess with you and put some things here and there because you did wrong to them. And it's not bad on them to revenge or something like that. That's a different story. But they're gonna try to make it hard for you because you're trying to make it harder for them. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's just gonna make it simple manner that karma it's hard.
Comes around. Yeah. Yes.
No. Anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, I think that's a good talk about the values of life and how to behave in these kind of situations when you're losing a friend or a girlfriend or whatever partner, person that you are losing, to use this opportunity like to grow as a person and become better. Life is it's a fun, challenging walk, but you learn day by day. So you always use these kind of things to learn a little bit more and become better, so people want to stay around you more and more.
Awesome. So we're gonna do more about that section in the beginning, okay, voce acha, and do a little bit of what we think and our reaction is on that video. Sometimes we're gonna start like more what videos we share with each other, but if you have one that is pretty impactful and you want to share it, we're gonna do the link a little bit on the video so you can watch it. It's pretty graphic, so be aware. So and share with us a little bit if you have any like techniques or any fights in the UFC, for example, or anything that has to do with jiu-jitsu, anything like that we can react to, and then have a little fun in the beginning, and then we go for our normal topic. We want to try that and see how it goes. Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you.
Obrigado.